how could we, as Black people, be a part of a faith and a religion that sought to and did the most horrific things that humankind has ever experienced, and did it in the name of God? And the Pope would come down to the ships in Italy when the ships were leaving and bless them all and spray holy water all over all of them and
Wow.
put his hands on it, like a hands-on experience, a faith hands-on experience on each of these ships before they left,
Mm.
and bless the sailors so that they would be successful in their journey. How could we be a part of that faith tradition? How could we, Daddy? He didn't know what to say, except he said, you are too young to make this decision. You got to believe in what you believe in. It's right for you. It may not be right for everybody around you. It might not be what the people that who raised you or who you grew up with or the community that you're a part of or the church that you're a part of. It might not be where everybody else is moving and going. And
I don't
that's
need to
okay.
know
And you
what's
have to know that
beyond
that's okay.
space, 'cause heaven is a home that we create. No matter where you go to when you pray, heaven is a home that we create. Let's agree that earth is a special place, so heaven is a home that we create. Surround yourself with love and who's to hate. Heaven is a home that we create.
Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Let it all go. And welcome the next new breath with love and gratitude. Welcome to Divine Anarchy, a conversation about spirituality, humanity, and the origins of life on Earth. My name is Kayla Beard. I am a poet, a spiritual coach, a Reiki master, and a seeker of spiritual truth. We are here to talk about faith, religion, and the complex and infinite tapestry of individual beliefs that make up our human understanding of who or what God is. In these conversations, I like to think of the life coach and the reporter in me linking arms as we explore the many different ways that spirituality shows up in our lives. I am thrilled to be here as always, and I am elated that you have decided to join me again. So thank you. Before we begin, I want to remind you to join the Divine Anarchy Substack. You can visit kaylabeard.substack.com to read the blog where I explore my own relationship to spirituality and share journal prompts to aid you in your own exploration. You will also receive new episodes of the podcast directly in your email when they are available when you subscribe to the Substack. You can also visit my website, theharmonicspirit.com, to sign up for this month's free group Reiki and meditation session. I host these sessions every month on the fourth Saturday of each month, and this is just something that I've been doing for more than a year, just over a year of hosting these sessions every month. They're always free, but of course, donations are always accepted. And recently, I've decided to share the recordings, the replays of these sessions on my Patreon, which you can also subscribe to when you visit The Harmonic Spirit on Patreon. So, today I am sharing a conversation with someone I really look up to. I am a fervent believer that people are more than the work that we do or the accomplishments that we have achieved. So I do my best when I do these introductions to kind of focus on the person and my relationship to them and not focus so much on their achievements in kind of a superficial way, or, I don't like to focus in on the work that they do as if that's all that they are. But in this case, I would be doing a disservice to this woman if I did not share just a little bit about the fact that she is an icon, an award winning, internationally recognized leader in the environmental justice movement. Vernice Miller Travis is considered one of the mothers of the environmental justice movement and one of the key people who brought environmental justice into the national spotlight. If you know anything about politics, you might know that the Biden-Harris administration has spent a lot of resources and energy trying to make environmental justice a high priority for the federal government. And whether or not you have been following that story, a lot has been done. A lot of policies have been passed. A lot of money has been allocated and distributed. And Vernice Miller Travis is one of those people who has really been at the forefront of this movement from the very beginning. And so I think I'm not alone when I say that she is a huge part of the reason why this is something that the federal government is even trying to talk about. A longtime activist, a co-founder of the nonprofit We Act for Environmental Justice, and a renowned expert on environmental policy, Vernice is also one of the most enjoyable people to talk to. She is a natural storyteller and a gifted speaker, and for someone who has been invited to the White House on more than 2 occasions, she is one of the most grounded and genuine people I know. I met Vernice through my work at an agency called Metropolitan Group, where I was able to work very closely with her and support her in all of the many, many things that she does on a regular basis. And I'm so grateful that I had the chance to get to know her. She's taught me a lot, so much. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Vernice. I've already thanked you in person, but thank you for taking the time out of your unbelievably busy schedule to have this conversation and to share your story with our listeners. And to you, dear listeners, thank you for returning. You are in for a wonderful conversation, a very entertaining series of stories, and a lesson in history and authenticity and purpose. And I hope you enjoy. First of all, thank you. Thank you again for agreeing to do this and taking the time to be here.
My total pleasure. Thank you for asking me.
For sure. Before we really get started, is there anything like that you want to share just about yourself that you feel compelled to share?
What I would say about myself is that I live in Prince George's County, Maryland. I've lived here for the past 26 years, and I moved here from Harlem, New York, where I grew up and was born and raised, and where I went to college and graduate school, and I went to high school in the Bronx. My mom and I lived in the Bronx for a while in New York during the height of some really awful times in terms of urban conflict. Um, and that also helped shape my thinking. But I'm also from a binational family, and most of my family, my dad's side, lives in the Bahamas, and I spent every summer of my life growing up in the Bahamas with them. Most Black folk went down south, and we went to Nassau, Bahamas, because that's where my my dad's family was, and spent every summer with them. So I have a I have the perspective of being a first generation American as well as African American. So there you have it.
I wonder, this is not like part of my regular questions, but I'm just curious
Uh-huh.
if your perspective as first generation American or binational American influenced the the relationship that you have with spirituality at all?
Well, certainly with organized religion, my grandmother was Haitian, my dad's mom, and she was a devout Catholic, and my father was a devout Catholic, and my mother and her family were devout Catholics. So um, we were uh, sort of part of a community of folk. In our lives, there were a lot of Black Catholics, but generally speaking, there were not a lot of Black Catholics. It was not the traditional faith journey, I think, of most African Americans, and so that plays into it. But also,